I am going to read Animals in Winter by Henrietta Bancroft and Richard G. Van Gelder, illustrated by Helen K. Davey. And look at these wonderful illustrations in this story. The days grow short, the nights grow long. It is getting colder. Winter is coming. Leaves have fallen from the trees. There are no berries on the bushes. Insects are gone. The grass is dead and brown. You can see our fall things. Look at the bare tree. Look at all those wonderful branches and all these wonderful warm fall colors. Birds and other animals are getting ready for winter. Some of the birds will fly south. Bluebirds and orioles go toward the south. They go where it is warm and sunny and where there is food for them to eat. When spring comes, the birds will make the long journey back north. They migrate. Look at the sunflowers now, how they have changed. Some butterflies migrate too. That is what the monarch butterflies do. They gather in a tree by the hundreds before the cold weather comes. They stay in the tree all night. In the morning, they fly toward their winter homes in the south. Can you imagine what a beautiful sight to see? They almost make it like a pattern on the tree. Look at this. Many bats fly south too, but some bats stay in the north all winter. When the weather gets cold, they go to a cave. There is no wind or snow in the cave. The bats sleep there all winter. They do not eat. They live on fat stored inside them. They do not move. They hardly breathe. They sleep, sleep, sleep. They hibernate. So they're out at night, right? Because they are what? They are nocturnal. Can you see how the artist used watercolor here? Because the colors have sort of blended together. Isn't that beautiful? Woodchucks hibernate too. When fall comes, a woodchuck eats and eats and eats. He eats grass, twigs, and leaves. He grows fat. When it gets cold, the woodchuck crawls into his long tunnel and goes to sleep. Look, there's a secret entrance. Main entrance. The tunnel drops and narrows to keep out enemies. Mound, so it's this little sun porch and watchtower. That's cool. Toilet chamber, oh dear. And then the sleeping chamber. He's really got a good setup right there. Does he sleep for a day? Longer than that. Does he sleep for a week? Longer than that. A month? Even longer. A woodchuck can sleep as long as 4 months. December, January, look how the weather's changing. February and March. The woodchuck seems hardly alive. He breathes very slowly. His heart beats very slowly. He sleeps, sleeps, sleeps. He hibernates. Look at the texture on the rock, how they made the paint kind of maybe with a little dry brush. They just kind of tap, 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 and got all the texture of these different colors in the rocks. And look at the texture of the little fur on this animal. Some animals do not have to hibernate. They gather food and save it for the winter. That is what a pika does. I think that's how you say that. A pika looks like a little like a rabbit, but with round ears. Pikas live in high mountains where winters are long and cold. They eat grass. In the summer, they cut more grass than they can eat. They spread the grass on flat stones, and the hot sun dries it. Oh my goodness, they're drying it out. By the end of the summer, a pika may have gathered 50 pounds of grass. Think how light grass is. That would be a huge amount. She hides it under rocks. In the winter, she eats the dry grass. It keeps her alive. She had to do a lot of planning, didn't she? Working really hard to prepare for that. Oh, look at the little squirrels. Squirrels gather food too and save it for winter. They dig holes in the ground. They bury hickory nuts and acorns. When winter comes, they dig them up and eat them. Sometimes squirrels forget where they buried the nuts. Trees may grow from the nuts that squirrels forget. Look at the snowflakes. So they probably watercolored back here and then took white paint, maybe acrylic paint, and added it on top. Ooh, some animals do not get ready for the winter at all. They do not store food. They do not hibernate. They do not migrate. They must hunt for food all winter long. There are mice that must hunt all winter for seed of goldenrod, asters, and other wild plants. Sometimes they eat farmers' corn, oats, and wheat. Oh, they're looking all around. What's the cat thinking? Deer must dig in the snow for dried leaves, plants, and moss. When the snow is deep, they must eat the twigs, buds, and bark of trees. That does not sound very yummy. Look at the green sky. That looks like a little bit like the northern lights, having the green lights in there. You can see all that texture of the fur, how the artist made little lines, and then how smooth the snow looks. Look at it here. The rabbit must hunt under the snow for bits of grass and plants. When the snow is deep, he too eats the buds and bark of bushes so he can stay alive. Oh, look at the fox. In the winter, the fox hunts for mice and rabbits. This fox has discovered a mouse in its tunnel beneath the snow. Oh, he's leaping up. Look how the shadows in the snow are bluish. They're not gray like we would maybe think to color in the shadows. When the winter is cold and the snow is deep, many animals cannot find food. Here are some ways you can help animals in the winter. Make a peanut and popcorn garland. Look, they're the peanuts in the shells. Nail a sunflower head to a post or fence. Oh, so that keeps it up and not covered with the snow. Hang suet in a plastic net bag. Stick fruit and cheese pieces on dead branches. Nail a seed tray with drainage holes to a fence post. That's smart so the water doesn't stick in there and freeze it up, right? Make an apple, cranberry, raisin, and orange garland. Make sure feeders are placed out of reach of predators. Hang an ear of corn for squirrels and chipmunks. Put a birdhouse in a tree or under the eaves of your house. Plant shrubs with berries for food and shelter. Please remember, once you begin feeding birds and other wild animals in winter, you must continue. They are depending on the food you supply. So you wouldn't want to just do it once and then forget about it. Eventually the days grow longer, the nights grow shorter, it begins to get warmer. Spring is coming. I hope you learned a lot from that book. I enjoyed that.